Alright, Shalom. Call all Yahawah on show. Shalom to the left. This is my second time doing this video, so I'm going to go ahead and go through it and get straight to the points. I tried to record it a little earlier, and my actual footage got saved on a time lapse instead of the actual video. So I'm going to go into it. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12. I'm going to start at, I'm actually reading down from verse 3 all the way down. It says in verse 3, "For I say, through the grace given to me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Yahawah have dealt to every man the measure of faith." And everybody got a different measure of faith. Some people believe more so than others. Like you have some people that really can visualize and grasp the concept of spiritual power and actually believe in the scriptures on a high level. Well, some people, their faith have to get boosted by certain events. That's why it's a scripture that say that people should be willing in the day of thy power, because that's when people really gonna be boosted up with faith. And the Most High give faith. All these gifts, all that stuff, whatever talents or skills you have, whatever you do in your daily walk, the Most High give that. And He controls what's going on the earth simultaneously too, which I'm gonna get into that. And that's what I was bringing out in the video I recorded before. But footage messed up. I'm gonna go back in and go ahead and go on the same topic. Verse 4 said, "For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body in Hamashiach, every one members one of another, having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity, he that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness." And that's the mind frame you have to be in. And especially seeing all the stuff that's going on, man. The Most High really allowing this word to manifest the stuff that you see going around the earth. With these videos I'm going to go into, with the fires down there, with the storm they're talking about is supposed to hit right there in Texas, and it's another one coming behind it. Stuff with volcanoes going off. Deadly flash flood hits Turkey. This just popped up recently. I didn't see this earlier when I made the first video, but this just popped up. There's another one I seen. A gas pipeline explosion near Damascus leads to blackout in Syria. So all these events, man, the Most High control us just as well as He controls us to be able to edify and uplift other Akim, help teach people, give alms, and help people out in certain situations. Which when you give alms, you ain't got to do that to be seen. That's something between you and the Most High and that person you helping out. It ain't nothing that you go online and be boasting and doing little stuff like that. I see people that do that, and that's going off. When in verse 9 we read on some more, says, "Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another, not slothfulness in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord Yahawah." And His business is putting His word out, edifying, helping seal the elect. That's the business. All the other business, because me, I do my own business and stuff personally, but all that stuff come after this. This is the main thing right here that's really going to be beneficial. It helps set up riches that don't corrupt. Because these riches down here, they corrupt. You get money, the US dollar devalue in any fucking way. You get you some gold or whatever, somebody come take that shit, some silver or whatever. You know, that stuff is corruptible. But the incorruptible riches that we seeking don't come from doing this type of business right here. Now it says in verse 12, "Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, giving to hospitality." And you gotta be, in that mind frame. Help people out, man, especially when they actually need it. You also gotta have discernment and know who to help and who not to help. You can't just be helping out people, because that used to be one of my flaws, just helping out the wrong motherfuckers and they don't appreciate it or value it or need it. But you gotta be able to discern who to help out. Now let me go into a few of these videos and I'm gonna pull some precepts real quick.
I knew I wanted more out of my professional career, and I felt like going back to school.
Alright, let me mute that and skip that shit.
August the 23rd, 2020. Guys, I want to give a shout out to our friends over on the West Coast. Before we lose daylight satellite imaging, it is already almost dark here in Mississippi. The guys out there, you're very aware that you're in some of the worst wildfires in a long time. In some sections, guys, they're talking about over 1 million acres. A lot of people evacuated. Everything burned, trying to get into shelters. And what's so bad about it, in some shelter areas, that if you have been around anybody with COVID, or been trying to help someone with COVID, or you have a temperature, then going from here all the way to the Gulf Coast, down here for the hurricane, they're not going to let you in these shelters. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey man, and the most I set this up, hold on, let me go into this. Hey. You got a lot of them proud, them damn heathens out there, them devils out there that stay out there in the West Coast. A lot of them down there in Texas too, them fucking damn Edomites. A lot of them down there be racist as hell. Still lynching people and doing all type of weird ass shit down there. And worshiping Shaitan down there. So he hitting them from both angles. With the fires, and the wind, and the storm. But who controlling that? Let's go into that real quick. It's in the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. It says, "It's how I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. How the Lord do all these things." And the scriptures also say He surely bring forth His judgment every morning. So whenever you hear them sirens, whatever going on in the morning, it ain't just the morning, it's afternoon, nighttime, whatever. He lining this up. Just like with these fires right here. I'm going to get that. A lot of people, they talk about Mother Nature and all this other stuff. Ain't no Mother Nature. It's Yahawah. Yahawah causing this. And He's giving His commands to Yahawah, and it's trickling on down through the angels. And they doing His bidding. If you read the book of Ezra, it goes into how He created spirits for vengeance and for wrath. And I'll pull that in a minute. Let me get that after I get this. It's in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3. In verse 5 it says, "The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth He bring His judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame." And the unjust, they don't consider this, oh, it's Mother Nature, or oh, it's just because it's lightning outside, and the fires, the wind is picking up, and they don't know who's controlling that, though. But it's the Most High. He the one controlling that. He the one orchestrating that from the spiritual realm. And let me go into another scripture in the Apocrypha real quick. This is in the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. In chapter 39, verse 28, it says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of Him that made them." So the Most High, He got actually put spirits out there to actually stir up this stuff even more. Put the angels out there to mess with the wind, mess with the elements, move the trees a little bit, whatever they do out there. And He the one creating it. And what's going to happen even more simultaneously with all these plagues and all this other stuff going on, they're going to actually unleash, I should say, apparitions and different little stuff like that that people think that ain't real. Hey, they gonna get to see how real it is. And let this play some. I'm gonna go back into this
That's not
other
the
part I want
only.
to get
It's
into
like if you've been around
about why
anybody,
these
you talk to anybody, you've been
about why these fires been getting started.
to help
Also,
somebody who's sick, or you have a temperature, or you've been sick, they're not letting you in the shelters, and they're cutting the actual capacity down to 1/3 for social distancing. But that's what you're looking at. This is Northern California.
and they in the
Look
most
at
high.
these
Hold on,
fires
let me go back.
spread all through this area.
You gonna
It's
cut the capacity down to
unbelievable.
1/3 too,
Especially if
because
you're
the
there in the
elect gonna be
ground. Can
redeemed
you
out of all this
imagine
stuff
what these folks are going through?
simultaneously.
And it's
2/3
not
of people
going to get better anytime soon.
they're not gonna be redeemed out of this. And you hear what he say, it ain't gonna get better no time soon. And that's in the book of Job, chapter 37, verse 3. It says, He directeth it under the whole heaven, and His lightning unto the ends of the earth. This will be considered the end of the earth in this region of the world, because Earth is not flat; it's actually round. But if you go on this end, over there on the west coast of California, He the one that got this going down over there, man. Now let me go on some more lightning scriptures, because that's what He's throwing out there. It says. In the book of Job, chapter 28, verse 26, it says, when He set a limit for the rain and a path for the thunderbolt. So He the one set the limit, and He created the path for these boats, man. And reading on some more in Job 37 and verse 4. But you know what? I ain't gonna go into that. I'm gonna go down to another one. This is in the book of Job 37 and 11. It says, He loads the clouds with moisture. He scatters His lightning through them. And that's what He's doing, man. You see these boats going out, and they got videos of it. I ain't gonna put them up right now. They got actual videos. You see the lightning hit, sparks popping off, and then fires getting started because it's dry out there. Ain't really been no rain been hitting. And ultimately, that's because He wanted to go down anyway. That's in the book of Job, chapter 38, verse 35. It says, Can you send the lightning bolts on their way? Do they report to you? Here we are. Hey, that's the Most High basically letting Job know, like, hey, who do this? Who control all this stuff? He's talking about Mother Nature and all this other stuff. Hey, it ain't no Mother Nature. It's the Most High, man. All right, let me go down some more. Pull another precept real quick. It's in the book of Job, chapter 36, verse 32. It says, He fills His hands with lightning and commands it to strike its mark. And that lightning gonna strike its mark, man. It's been striking the fuck out of California.
When you see these upper level wind bands, and you've got high wind warnings coming out from the south, and it's not going to get better because, as one of the things I do is hurricane videos, and this is exactly what we're dealing with here. And we back this image out. Now, what you're looking at, guys, again, Northern California, the fires here, and smoke is going. Just look at this, guys, all the way up and through this map here. Unbelievable. But this is kind of the remnants of what was Genevieve, hurricane off the coast. And this thing is still trying to turn and get its act together, but what it's going to...
And see, hey, the Most High hitting this, He hitting Babylon from all corners, man. And they gonna finish it off. This is in the book of Job, chapter 37, verse 3. And say, hey, before I read this right here, man, if you've been paying attention to the scriptures and actually really read and be diligent, and then you pay attention to the news and compare and contrast, line stuff up, man, it should make you laugh. It should bring some joy to you, because you know that the Most High making good on His word. Like the scripture says, He's not a man that He should lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. So it might have seemed like it was taking a little minute, taking a little time, whatever. Hey, but it's coming to pass now, man. You can see it clear as day. Let me go down some more. see what other precept I want to pull real quick. There's a gang element of Bullet Joe. It just goes into